400 may seem like a lot, but in truth, it can be so little.
400. That's roughly the time it takes a ball to travel from here to here. In just one day, there are 86,400 seconds.
Meaning this event here is all but 1/216,000th of your day.
The aggregate of all our joys and sufferings. That's here.
There is no comparable to the ritual of baseball. Roughly 300 times a game, a player stands on the same hump and hurls a small sphere. And the other player, well, he quite literally stands within a box.
It is gone!
A nice controlled experiment, and straightforward. Just be good at one of these tasks. Hell, fail 70% of the time here.
Swung cold, strike three, and Schwarber.
And, well, you'll make tens of millions, maybe hundreds.
Simple. Perhaps that's why baseball has delivered more idioms than any other sport, including one of life's pillars.
Eye on the ball.
Eye on the ball.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Keep your eye on the ball.
Do not take your eyes off of it.
Taking your eye off.
Keep your eyes on the ball.
It makes sense. Our eyes confounded the father of evolution, absurd in the highest degree possible. But our eyes fail us. These oblongs can't smoothly track an object moving this fast, meaning this advice, well, it only works until about middle school.
Oh, and this ball? It doesn't just move fast, it's moving.
He thinks it's coming at his head. He doesn't see spin.
It's curling, it's curving, it's diving, it's rising, and yet remarkably, baseball players, they not only see this ball, they time up a sequence to launch it.
But if he doesn't keep his eye on the ball, what does he see? This slice is not small. This slice is a window, a gateway to far more than 400 units of time. The minutia, it's an ocean. You just have to look a little closer. Let's start at 0. Before this ball is ever thrown, there's already so much that has happened.
Ready?
Yeah.
We learn by doing. Repetition.
No.
Getting at bats.
Yeah, there it is.
How fast are those going right now? 50, 60?
But it's about the right kind of at bats.
When should I be like gearing up to
The less
go?
you think about that, the better.
That sounds good.
Kyle Boddy started Driveline baseball out of his garage in 2008. An engineer from Microsoft who started experimenting with things like weighted balls to see how it affected throwing velocity. It worked. And as word got out about Boddy's experiment, the elites began to flock to this Seattle warehouse. Ohtani, Kershaw, Bauer, just to name a few. This is not a training facility. This is a lab.
So essentially you can work backwards from their ball flight data, which we're tracking with the tracks. So collecting all of that. And then for the bat pass side of things, we collect it through blast motion sensors that go on the end of the bat.
Like many sports, baseball is a game of deception. With the help of these scenes, the pitcher isn't just trying to get the ball over the plate. He's looking for movement. He's looking for change in speed. He's looking to fool you.
Swings and misses.
Part of being a good hitter is picking up on that deception. Without trash cans. Come on, man. In stage 1 here, before the ball is released, there is already so much that has happened.
I think even before the pitcher starts to wind up, there is some level of expectation. The good hitters have an approach.
That's Dr. Scott Wylie, a neuroscientist with over 50 peer-reviewed papers on the brain. He and Brandon Alley co-founded S2 Cognition, state-of-the-art technology used to measure athletes' reactions and cognition with millisecond precision.
They're looking for a specific pitch type.
99-mile-an-hour fastball.
Maybe they're looking for a specific pitch location.
It's right below that strike zone.
Or a combination. Maybe they have a sense of what this pitcher likes to throw in this situation. And some hitters don't like to think. They like to just see ball, hit ball, as we've heard. But there's a lot of this that is influenced by what just happened on the prior pitch. So there's some of this that's happening, whether you think you're thinking about it or not.
Shout out to today's sponsor, Zocdoc. Finding the right doctor is so important. I mean, I have different medical needs than you do, and I think we can all be guilty of just putting this off. You maybe move to a new area, you maybe have your doctor retire, and because of that, you don't have a good relationship. I mean, it's just so obvious that you want to have a medical professional that knows you, and unfortunately in this day and age, that's just not the case a lot of times. People aren't getting those relationships in place. That's where Zocdoc is helpful. You can easily search and find that professional for you. Zocdoc appointments also happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours, and sometimes even same day appointments. This has been great for me when I've been traveling and you maybe are in a different area and you just need to find a doctor. You can use their search tool, find somebody that works for you. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and click the link down below in the description. You don't have to call anyone. You can book with just a few clicks. Thank you to Zocdoc.
As the windup begins, a good hitter is identifying cues.
As the arm's coming forward, you can pick up things the best hitters can pick up, whether it's a fat wrist or a skinny wrist. And so the fat wrist kind of reduces some of your pitches. It's hard you can't throw a curveball with a fat wrist. And so it reduces the type of pitch. If you skinny wrist, you're probably looking at something that's a breaking ball of sorts. And so they can pick up those cues.
Again, there is a wealth of information available before this ball ever leaves the pitcher's hand. Even though we may see the world in front of us, what we actually see in terms of high resolution, it's rather small. It's about the width of your thumb if you hold it out in front of us. This is referred to as our foveal vision. And if you're looking at the mound from the batter's box, that's about 4 baseballs in diameter. So where should a hitter deploy their precious foveal vision during the windup?
I spoke with Dr. Rob Gray about this. He's a professor of human engineering at Arizona State and sports science consultant for the Chicago Cubs. There is a trade-off with eye movement. When we move our eyes, we are temporarily blind. This is called saccadic suppression. Being blind is not great if you want to hit the ball. Additionally, it takes time, about 30 to 40 milliseconds per saccade, depending on the distance. Thus, if a hitter is trying to scan as much of the pitcher as possible to pick up on as many cues as possible, the eyes might not get to the right spot in time to see the ball when it's released.
Nonetheless, we have to eventually move our eyes if we want to pick up new information. So, what do the expert hitters do?
A study done by Cato and Fukuda pitted 9 expert hitters and 9 novice hitters against each other. The novice group had their eyes wander more, moving all around the pitcher's body during delivery, while the experts were doing something else. At the final point of delivery, the expert hitters focused on the elbow rather than the release point. There was a pivot in their vision. Hypothesis here is that the elbow was targeted because it reveals itself earlier than the release point, meaning the eyes don't have to make a last-minute adjustment, and it gives a clear visual reference to lock onto. A study done by Driveline found similar results, except the eyes were slightly closer to the hand. According to Dr. Gray, as the pitcher begins his windup, elite hitters deploy a softer focus. Then as the pitcher gets further into his delivery, the eyes shift to a more hard and finer focus on the window where the arm and hand will release the ball.
In stage 2, the ball leaves our pitcher's hand. Its flight predetermined by a number of factors, and the hitter, well, he begins to visually process the ball itself for the very first time.
In essence, a hitter has to make 2 rapid decisions. You've got to recognize what it is and where it's moving through space.
For our second stage here, our hitter is visually gathering information with the hope of continuing to build his expectation. Where will this ball go? What type of pitch is it? Some respond to colors, some respond to shape, and some respond to movement and motion.
How quickly can you react to something? Well, we need to first define what react means. When most people refer to reaction times, they mean a simple A stimuli and B overt response, like this. Shit. Man, you're quick. Typical reaction times about 250 milliseconds. For fast reactors, about 100 milliseconds. So, do athletes have better reaction times?
You would assume that athletes react faster than non-athletes. And if you really survey the scientific literature, it's pretty clear that it's a mixed set of findings. Athletes compared to non-athletes, top athletes compared to amateur athletes, those basic just see something, react to it, usually don't disclose differences between athletes and non-athletes.
In other words, there isn't anything special about a baseball player's reaction time. You might have a similar or better reaction time than Aaron Judge here, but that doesn't mean that you react in the same way. I did not.
So we have 8 for the pitcher and then 8 for Michael. So you can watch him getting punched out on 8 in very slow motion.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
In an effort to understand this further,
What's up? How's it going?
I am taking my first live at bat since 8th grade.
Can we go 10 pitch challenge?
All right.
Only this time, the pitcher is well past puberty,
So are you going to tell me what you're throwing before this?
and he throws a little harder.
Fastball.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, not bad, actually.
Jesus Christ. I got a piece, baby. Foul tip. We're still alive. Shit. I tried swinging earlier.
If you're asking if it was in the zone, also yes. Yeah!
We're making
It's a
contact.
foul ball. Ooh.
That was pretty close to my hand. Did that come back to me?
Yes. That pitch was right down the middle until it wasn't.
And what did you say your name was? Brock. Chill out, Brock.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go.
I'm beating that out, baby.
That's broken lumber.
I'm
for sure,
beating
bro.
that out. We got trouble with second on that.
While my reaction times may or may not be similar to Mr. Judge here, I couldn't see the ball in the same way that he could.
It's not these basic, simple reactions that distinguish elite athletes. It's all these systems that are engaged to protect your reactions and to make your reactions more dynamic, adaptable, and flexible when things are changing rapidly.
There is nuance to our reactions.
So your ability to control impulses, your ability to make counter reactions, your ability to stop, redirect, adapt your timing when things slow down, speed up. Those systems that are largely governed by the frontal lobes of your brain right behind your forehead, those are the systems where you start to really identify differences between athletes and the best athletes. Milliseconds matter. When you're facing Kershaw, you need every advantage you can get.
3,000 strikeouts.
That tug of war for time between the pitcher and the hitter, if you can recognize what pitch it is 15, 20 milliseconds sooner, you're wired to process at those speeds, that's where you're going to have an advantage.
As the ball enters our third stage here, keep in mind the processing is not step by step.
It's not a serial process. So you don't say, okay, here's what pitch it is, here's where it's going, now we got to decide, are we going to swing, yes or no? Okay, now we got to time it up. It's not this serial process in the brain. There's a lot of parallel processing and overlapping processing. You're not going from 0 to 100.
At this point, the motor system is ready to go. The foot is coming down.
So it's not really a go, no go. It's, do I continue what I've started? You've prepared your brain generally, and then when you start to get that information, now you're starting to hone in on building a particular swing solution. When, where do I deliver this bat path? And so by a couple hundred milliseconds, 200, 250 milliseconds, those decisions are largely being determined. You're starting to run out of time to check your swing, to shut down.
The clock is winding down. And in baseball, like many sports, it isn't just about going, it's about stopping.
In life and in sports, we obsess about starting. But in reality, stopping is also crucial.
You went a little too far, big man.
Really fast stoppers, they do so in about 160 milliseconds. The slow stoppers takes about 250 milliseconds. Let's say one individual, we'll say Mr. Judge here, MLB leader in walks, can stop in 160 milliseconds, while a less skilled hitter, we'll use myself, can only stop in 250 milliseconds. That means Judge would have an extra 12 and a half feet for processing. He gets about 25% more time than me to make his decision. In the tug of war of time, those milliseconds matter.
Anecdotally, again, that's what we're hearing from a lot of players in pro ball in college, that Yeah, this guy never checks. Well, that's because he has to decide to stop very early or he's going.
A player's control. Whether it's not chasing a slider outside the zone or a quarterback holding off on a contested crossing route, control is crucial.
And did he go? He did! Los Angeles.
By now, you're probably wondering just how legitimate this S2 test is. I certainly did, which is why I reached out to him and just asked if I could take it. The way I would describe this test, it feels like a gamified reaction test. There's a series of different modules that you take, and you have a controller, and if you go too fast, well, you're probably gonna get things wrong. So if you just purely go for speed in your answers, you're probably gonna miss some questions. If you go too slow, well then you're not gonna do that well in the speed portion.
Just how legitimate is this test, though? Well, because S2 has been testing athletes for the last several years, we are starting to see results and correlations. As of 2023, over 2,000 professional baseball players had taken the S2 test. If we look at the strikeout to walk ratio, we see that athletes with high S2 scores fare better. This was the most significant at the major league level. Another study looked solely into players that had reached the major leagues, which as of 2023 was 123 players. 7 of these players have become all-stars, guys like Adley Rutschman and Mr. Judge here. How do these all-stars S2 scores compare to everyday starters or reserves? On average, the all-stars scored in the 88th percentile, while the everyday starters were 69 and the reserves 57. Major differences in nearly every category were found.
Well, this isn't a large enough sample size, especially for the All-Stars, to say that these differences are gospel. It is significant. It's not what S2 believes. It is what has happened, and perhaps that's why every major sports league has teams pairing with S2. Nonetheless, whatever you believe about cognition, I think we can all agree if a player has a skill set, they have different attributes, almost like Madden, speed, quickness, agility. Cognition deserves a seat at the table, even if we don't really know what that is yet.
As the ball gets to stage 4, we have reached our go, no-go phase. Our hitter has gathered as much information as he can with the time constraints, and now he needs to make a decision. Swing or don't swing?
You've already started to identify when you need to swing and where you need to swing. There is evidence that you can make some late adjustments to your bat path and your swing. But yeah, you're getting close to this point of no return.
0-2, let's go.
If you look at the final pitch here, I truly failed to see the ball. I thought it was way outside, and if you watch me, you can see it took me a second. I paused, and then I realized that sound of the backstop, that meant it was a lot closer to me than I thought. And in fact,
Ooh! Oh yeah, it's a strike. Get out of here.
It was a strike.
I was taking it. I was trying to get on first. Any way I can, man.
As they say in Dominican, you can't walk off the island, Michael.
This two-seamer or sinker, depending on who's classifying it, moved back towards the arm, which really messed with my mind. I had never seen that before. The result was freezing me.
While I have no idea what my eyes did during an at-bat, there are studies, and in those studies, we typically see the first rapid eye movement of elite hitters within this stage 4 window.
This saccade usually ends with a hitter moving his eyes to the future ball trajectory, making it a predictive saccade. Unconsciously, hitters are moving their eyes to where they think the ball is going. According to a study done by Yuki Kishida, elite hitters moved their eyes later than non-elite hitters. The predictive saccade occurred later in the ball flight.
These results are contrary to what another study found in cricket, but that might lead to some profound insights, because in cricket, the visual information after the bounce is more important than before it. And well, if elite cricket players are moving their eyes earlier, that predictive saccade occurs earlier so they can gather more information after the bounce, they might be giving themselves an advantage without even thinking of it.
Interestingly, in this study, the top batters started their saccade about 120 milliseconds before the bat-ball contact. In other words, their eye movement while the ball was in the air occurred later. This timing is very close to the reaction time we'd see in the online adjustment response. In baseball batting, it is easy to imagine that the online bat control plays an important role in light of the fact that batters sometimes stop their swing after starting it. Although, how far batters can change their swing motion withstanding the inertia of accelerated bat remains a critical question.
Whoa, brings him to his knees.
Mechanically, Our hitter is now getting their foot down in preparation for the launch.
In our final stage, this launch window, it needs to be almost perfectly timed.
What's remarkable is how accurate your timing has to be. And so there's been estimates anywhere from 7 to 9 milliseconds plus or minus up to 20 milliseconds. If you're off in your timing, you're fouling it off, you're missing it. It's unbelievable how the human brain is able to make these kind of interceptive decisions. And, you know, obviously you're hitting the round ball with a round bat, and so you've got a few centimeters of air up or down, and you're popping it up, fouling it back, getting on top of it. Just the spatial temporal precision is just unbelievable. In every sport, there are moments where things are happening at this speed, but in terms of every pitch, it's hard to think of another sport that's as demanding.
Timing felt the most foreign to me in this hitting experience. It's where I felt like I struggled the most. Even on the pitches where I was able to foul it off, deflect it off, I couldn't load up a full swing. They were mostly half swings. And, well, that's because I wasn't used to the rhythm.
I need to get one in play.
The second and third pitches here are a perfect example of this.
Should I throw a slider? Yep. Do that.
That was a ball.
Brock mixed it up without me knowing, and there's roughly an 11-mile-an-hour difference. But you can see how far out in front I am, in addition to just missing the pitch entirely.
Was that a heater?
No, it was not a heater.
See, okay, now we got a cheater. We said straight heaters, now we got a cheater.
Michael, I told him to do that. I'm sorry.
It was a pre-planned thing over here. Oh my gosh.
The next time that you watch a pitch, don't blink. In this window exists the grandest display of human cognition, a combination of our wonderful vision, timing, force, and coordination. To witness this 400 milliseconds is to witness millions of years of human evolution, a choreography that showcases our greatest attributes as a species. 400 may not seem like a lot, but in truth, it can be so significant. I hope you enjoy this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and take care.
Want to hear the full conversation with Kyle Boddy and Scott Wylie? Check out our podcast now